Hi, this is Angie.
And this is Valentina.
And this is Tatiana. And today we're going to be talking about Leda and the Swan, made in 1963 by Twombly.
He did this with oil paint, pencil, and crayon.
It was actually a series of one of 3 pieces that he made, which were also titled Leda and the Swan.
Well, was a first name basis. Twombly was an American artist. He was born in Virginia, right? He studied with who?
Yeah,
he studied with Robert Rauschenberg, which influenced his style a lot. But although he was an American artist, he lived in Europe a lot because he lived in Rome and he had a lot of European not elements, but he was influenced by them.
He liked that country feel that he had in Virginia. He was missing it.
I wish I was him. His studio was in front of the Coliseum, and I think that's so cool.
I talk about inspiration, right?
He was a post-war artist, specifically the Cold War, and that is when he started working with Robert Rauschenberg. And
that's when he was categorized as an abstract expressionist.
Exactly. But he didn't really want to be categorized. And he didn't even sketch, so he had no preliminary ideas. Exactly. As an artist, he was very different from everyone else. He didn't spend time with other artists.
He would surround himself with writers and academics instead of painters, because he was so interested in literature. And let's talk about that, how that influences his work.
Exactly, which is the reason or the purpose of this piece that we're studying, Leda and the Swan, which is based off of a poem by Edward William Yeats. And the story is actually about, it's a mythological
story.
mythological story.
Yeah. It's about Zeus, which becomes a swan and actually rapes Leda. This piece actually has is
the third of
thank you,
of a series of 3, which progressively get
more intense. I would say.
Yeah, the first is definitely more simplistic and muted in a sense where you don't see how the violence and the frantic
intensity,
nature.
Yeah. But he gets the composition right. He kind of he likes what he sees. He puts the window up there.
Well, all of these have a window, as you said. All of the three paintings have a window in them, and they all have a square.
They're related in a way. They each have a piece that is translated within.
They communicate.
Yes, they communicate.
The second one shows a lot more movement. It can even be described as being the swan because of the color scheme that he uses.
Yeah, he uses more white and
more frantic lines everywhere.
And it's not as condensed as the first and third one. It is busy, and it doesn't follow a certain frame.
Right. While the third actually has a frame that he drew within it. It's a self-framed.
And this third is, like we said, Leda and the Swan from 1963.
It's like the best of both worlds. Like he gets the intensity that he wanted from the second piece and the composition of the first one, but he brings it up a whole new level.
Much more combines it, in my opinion, perfectly.
Yeah, flawless.
I think so. It's more vivid and violent.
Yeah, the use of the red is definitely significant. It relates actually to a line in the story. In the
poem, it says, "So mastered by the brute blood of the air." So that's the brute blood. Like we can see how brute it is,
and how intense that red is. It's the only color that's
present.
That's present. While
different shades of it.
Exactly. In the first and the third pieces, there's subtle other colors within them, but in the third, it's definitely just red, very vibrant, in your face.
Yeah, when he figures out what he wants.
When I see this painting, I feel like I'm kind of feeling of what he was feeling as he was making the painting. Like I feel more frantic.
Even what Leda was feeling as the rape was being committed.
It's distressful. You can almost see
I feel like he was so much in a rush when he was doing this. I feel like he was moving. There was a lot of movement for me in this.
Right. In the frantic nature, like, oh my goodness, I'm being raped. Please
help me.
Rape
is a frantic issue.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would be pretty frantic.
It sort of even looks like a handprint in the top right, as if she's like asking for help.
Yeah. And the figure at the bottom almost looks like a swan, like the whitish
underneath the red.
Underneath the red, so kind of questions, like, is the figure on top Leda or the Swan, or how? I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
But. Yeah.
He used a lot of, he was known for his calligraphic gestures, and you can see that a lot in the top left, and just in the way that he
frames it, I think.
frames it and moves his pencil, or his lines, how they are very flowy, sort of, in a way. Like,
yeah, you can it's like you're
like
making
writing,
it. Right?
Yes.
Very much like writing. And then his work was very much compared to graffiti, and even though it kind of like has like a childish nature to it, like think about that window,
and
like
how it's also the materials that he uses crayons and uses
and pencil, which you normally would use like in preschool or whatever.
Exactly.
But the topics that he's dealing with are very much like very sexual and very explicit, very violent. So I think that contrast of like
there's a sense of erotica in it.
Oh, definitely. So you have this extremely mature topic, but you're dealing with it in a very childish kind of way.
With childish materials, which is ironic.
Definitely.